I've grown up around racing games, mainly the Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, Dirt, and Grid series. Racing games are genuinely my life. I still have plenty of fun playing games like Dirt 5, The Crew 2, Need for Speed Heat, Need for Speed 2015, Drive Club, and more. I play racing games of many genres, except sim races. You get closed circuit races, both arcade and sim, open world races, and driving games. But have you ever heard of an action racing game? You most likely have played one, but you might not exactly know what an action racer is. Action races are a little complicated. You get many different types of action races in both arcade, sim, and especially simcade races. I'm going to try to explain what makes an action racer, well, an action-packed racer. Action races are fast, but most importantly, they're intense. They're violent in one way more than the other. Sometimes they're violent in many ways. I want to take 3 examples: Shift 2, Onrush, and Project Cars. Onrush is a fully fledged action arcade racer, where you drive on wide tracks where you don't exactly race to a finish line, but race to complete a team-based objective. Shift 2 is a simcade racer, a mix between arcade-like handling and simulated driving experience. Your car can break down and there are somewhat realistic consequences, but you're trying to survive till the finish line. Project Cars is a flat-out simulator. It's similar to Shift 2 except more hardcore in terms of handling and the driving experience. Onrush is fast, violent, and consists of intense team-based races. You smash opponents, you keep your nitrous going as long as possible. When taking out opponents, you earn more nitrous. Once you build up nitrous, a turbo gauge fills up. When it hits 100%, once you press the button, you're sent flying, deleting other drivers off the track. But you're not invincible, you can still knock yourself out. Shift 2 is gritty at its best. Cars have insane damage models. They can be sent rolling as the driver grunts in pain. But it's intense at almost all times. Aggression points are rewarded, and even the intro shows you what to expect from the game. It's raw, door-to-door action. It's proudly violent and realistically aggressive. Project Cars is the same as Shift 2, like I said before, except more sim-based and hardcore. If you're playing with physical damage on, it's realistic. Car bonnets fly off, wheels get extremely damaged, rear bumpers and trunks fly off, showing the insides loud and proud. With the speeds that you're going with sharp turns, keeping your position and your car intact is intense. Note how I say every game is intense and violent. That's an action racer at its core. You put into some intense racing action, a literal fight for first place or the overall victory, team or solo. The camera is very essential to making a racing experience feel action-packed. Camera shakes, good amounts of motion blur, and appropriate camera angles. These are essential to capturing a sense of speed. Sense of speed is what makes an action racer immersive. If you take Shift 2 and Project Cars' famous head cam, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. The head cam literally shows what the driver sees. The little parts of the helmet, the head movement, your peripheral vision blurs out certain things in front of you. And you are immersed. And guess what? It feels intense. What's more, if you take a hard crash, the driver will grunt in pain and the camera will blur, or at least in Shift 2 it will. As you embrace all the impact into your virtual body, it puts you into the fast, intense action, right? Camera shake, I feel, isn't as easy to replicate, as some races tend to have an annoying, overwhelming amount of camera shake, barely being able to see straight or what exactly is coming up on the track ahead. And some have very minimal camera shake, which makes the sense of speed feel very bland. Initiating turbo or nitro doesn't feel as impactful and feels cheap. Motion blur is such an annoyance in non-racing games because motion blur tends to make a game look terrible and muddy. Well, it looks awesome in a racing game. It really complements camera shake amazingly well. It symbolizes exactly how fast you are going. Very little to no motion blur, like minimal camera shake, makes races look bland and cheap. What makes a racing game sound amazing is usually the engine sounds and sound effects. What makes an action racer sound good is also engine sounds and sound effects. But as well as your actions sounding like they really pack a punch. Exhaust should sound beefy, crashes should make your heart skip a beat. Sounds should sound beefier, meatier, just downright brutal. Grid 2019 had me excited when you would start up the first NASCAR race and you're sliding through a car flipping in the air in slow motion. Moments like those are goosebump worthy and give the racing a little bit of a twist. Later in that same race, one of the drivers will spin out, taking out a driver behind him as wheels and bumpers litter the track, and you need to quickly avoid the accident before it's too late. It not only makes the race have a twist, but adds more depth in the way the AI will react to certain situations. Not a lot of track races do this, which makes Grid a lot more unique in that regard. Cinematic action races are some of my favorites, as they include some movie-like set pieces. For example, Need for Speed The Run has a sequence where you need to avoid gunfire from a mob. They drive up to you and start firing at you and your car. But they're not only driving in cars, there's a helicopter firing at you as well, as it shoots at explosive barrels on the road next to the main road, causing the blast radius to damage your car. It's exciting. Another sequence has you racing down a mountain with an avalanche coming down, and as you reach the finish line, you drive through the avalanche. There are also a few quicktime events that include a few on-foot chases and escaping a car crasher. These are mainly in story-based cinematic action races, with blockbuster action and the like. Whether it's taking down other drivers, surviving an intense scenario, car chases, and so on. Action races are fun, unique, intense, violent, gritty, brutal, hardcore, amazing, impressive, and diverse. There are a variety of different types of action races: arcade, sim and simcade, open world and closed circuit, track racing, street, off-road, drag, and so on, cinematic and scripted, story-driven and gameplay-driven. There's always something for everybody. ACJC here. I honestly hope this video does well, since my Assassin's Creed video isn't really getting anywhere in terms of my video essays, which is kind of a shame since it's my favorite script I've written so far. But I'm still proud and take pride in my script writing. But if you guys haven't checked out that Assassin's Creed video, make sure to check it out if you want. But yeah, in terms of the attention that video got, that video kind of flopped like a fish out of water. But tell me what you guys want to see me cover next. I currently have a lot in mind, but I don't exactly want to put my momentum to bed with another video that doesn't get as much attention. I kind of need to address something since I'm going back to school every day of the week now, except weekends of course. So that means videos aren't going to be coming out as frequently as before. I was usually doing one video a week. I think that might transition to one video every second week. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, and also I just want to say check out my second channel at JC, as I'll be releasing a new song over there this upcoming Friday. So yeah, I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay entertained, take care, and take it easy. Cheers.